Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we're going on a seriously fascinating journey together. We're going to literally step right past that analytical, everyday mind of yours and explore something, well, something deeply profound that's hidden within all of us. So do me a favor, set aside everything you think you know about science fiction. Seriously, toss it out. Because today we're grounding ourselves in the actual architecture of the human mind to map out a very specific, kind of mysterious part of our collective consciousness. Okay, let's dive into this. Why do you think the image of the alien is so deeply hardwired into the human experience? I mean, think about it. It's a symbol that spans across completely disconnected cultures and eras. But here's the catch. We're not looking at this as some literal tale of little green men from outer space. No way. We're looking at it as a profound psychological mirror. It turns out this archetype is actually a reflection of our own internal shadows, and honestly, it's a signpost for our collective evolution.
I absolutely love how our source material puts this. It says, "We are entering the deep subconscious to uncover why the image of the alien is hardwired into the human experience. Bridge the gap between your internal shadows and the cosmic collective." Right? So powerful. What this actually means is that through intense hypnotic induction, we can use specific rhythmic signatures, basically think of them as precise beats or tones, to fundamentally restructure the brain. It's literally about unlocking a much higher state of awareness just by tapping into imagery that's already sitting dormant inside your mind.
Section 1. Bypassing the conscious mind.
Now, what's really interesting about this is that to understand what's buried deep inside, we actually have to navigate a specific sequence to get past our everyday conscious filter and, our personal biases. First up, we implement rapid induction techniques. The whole goal here is to completely silence that loud analytical part of your brain. You know the one. By doing this, we drop straight into the theta state, that super deeply relaxed kind of dreamy space you hit right before you fall asleep. In this state, we find the exact gateway between your personal, individual memories and the vast shared reservoir of the collective unconscious. And if we set the right intention here, it allows us to navigate right past those biases so we can finally reach the pure raw data of the alien archetype.
Section 2. Mapping the alien archetype.
All right, so now that we've bypassed the surface level, let's take a look at what actually resides in this deep, expansive subconscious architecture. When we map out this extraterrestrial landscape, we aren't finding literal spaceships. Instead, we're decoding recurring geometric and celestial patterns. And what's just incredible to me is that these exact patterns show up in the deep subconscious across vastly different cultures. So the really crucial takeaway here is that the alien form doesn't appear as a literal external contact narrative. It's actually an internal, symbolic projection of the higher self. It acts as a perfect mirror for humanity's current stage of psychological evolution. It's literally how our deepest mind visualizes our own potential.
Section 3. Neuro-linguistic transformation.
So we've explored what the archetype actually is, but how do we actively use it to evolve our minds? And this brilliantly illustrates exactly that. When we use hypnosis to integrate this alien imagery, we fundamentally reformat our own internal dialogue. We actually move away from a mindset of planetary isolation, feeling disconnected, alone, or separated, and we transition into this profound sense of universal citizenship. We start to feel cosmically connected, really understanding our place within a much grander universal framework. Honestly, this shift is nothing short of an evolutionary leap. By applying this integrated alien imagery to your everyday life, you are directly upgrading your brain's functionality. It vastly enhances your cognitive flexibility and totally boosts your creative problem-solving skills. Ultimately, you stop being just a passive observer of your life, and you finalize the shift into being an active participant in the next phase of human consciousness. How cool is that?
Section 4. Anchoring the nervous system.
But here's the thing. All of these profound hypnotic insights are essentially useless if they just kind of float away the second you wake up, right? So to make this transformation permanent, we use what's called a somatic trigger. Basically, this is a physical cue that's established to instantly recall that incredible state of cosmic interconnectedness and expansive thinking. During the hypnotic state, we use very specific rhythmic linguistic cues to solidify new neural connections in your brain, connections that favor expansive thinking. By tying those new neural pathways to a physical somatic trigger right in your nervous system, you gain the superpower to instantly recall this higher state of awareness at any moment in your normal waking life. Section 5. Integrating the awakening. Okay, let's bring this whole journey back to the surface and compare two very different ways we actually experience mental expansion in our day-to-day routines. On one hand, we have the dogmatic search. This is when you deliberately pursue elevation, say through yoga, strict meditation, or religious practices, and your mental expansion gets filtered through the existing symbols and rules of that specific doctrine. But on the other hand, we have spontaneous awakening, when expansion just happens subliminally during your ordinary daily routine, without any conscious intent or doctrinal rules. The subconscious frequently turns to its raw, unfiltered source, the alien archetype. It uses those universal geometric patterns and celestial imagery embedded in our collective unconscious to translate this newly expanded perception.
So how do we actually capture this in our own lives? We use experience mapping. I really want to encourage you to start observing your own mind. Pay close attention to when sudden ideas, visual insights, or just moments of super sharp mental clarity suddenly emerge outside of your regular meditative practices. Notice how your mind outlines and translates that expansion. Are you seeing forms, geometry, or maybe visual representations connected to this celestial archetype? When you can start recognizing these symbols out in the wild, you can begin to map out what your higher self is actually trying to project.
And I'd absolutely love to hear directly from you on this. Seriously, what imagery do you visualize during these spontaneous moments of clarity? I highly encourage you to get involved and share your daily experiences with these symbols in the comments below. Like, what do you tend to see when your mind suddenly expands without warning?
If you're starting to recognize these manifestations in your own routine, and you're curious to understand exactly what your subconscious is projecting through this archetype, well, there's a path forward. You are warmly invited to reach out for a conversation. You can schedule a hypnosis session to safely map these connections and really explore the depths of your mind in a welcoming environment. Ultimately, it begs a pretty massive question. If the blueprint of the cosmos is already inside your mind, what are you going to build with it once you finally unlock the door? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep exploring.